Hello beautiful souls and welcome back to my channel. This is your weekly reading on the theme of why do opportunities feel close but never land? So we're going to look at the missing piece so that these opportunities can start landing. Before we start, I have called in the Isis Calamera Spirit Show. As you can see, it's this beautiful, I don't know if you can see it, red, blood red, shimmery color. So we're calling her in for some support, guidance, love, wisdom, intuition, magic, all this good stuff. I'm going to breathe it in, fluff my aura with it, and then send it all into the reading so that you receive all this goodness. I've also brought in 2 dragon eggs because I thought we needed something new, and that speaks to me today. I was saying that I'm just back from about a month in Europe, and I've finally landed after a few days. The energy is so different for me, between the US and Europe. US is super dynamic, but to the point where sometimes I find my nervous system really struggles just to keep up. It's like, and when I'm in Europe, I have this time to slow down and integrate, which is really nourishing for me. So I've landed back in this very dynamic place, but from a much more integrated place. And this is from where I give you this new reading. So, why do opportunities feel close but never land? Why do opportunities feel close but never land? Spirit, why do opportunities feel close but never land? What is your advice for us? Okay, let's take this one. So we have the card of truth, which is actually my favorite card in the deck. Kushuti asanaka huateyataka awasinaka ushiti asanaka ati awana ashi ataya ayuti a iasana ashitata. So the card of truth is always about a place where you're lying to yourself. It's like the looking glass that's going to really show you or put in your face or bring up to the surface the place in you which you're lying to yourself and you're playing small, and you're not really showing yourself to the world. So these are usually, I said that the card of truth is usually it can be the card of inner child or of a very young place in yourself, because it's a place that's pretty wounded and pretty guarded. But it's also, every wound for me holds so much potential waiting to unravel. And so you're asking with this card to look at where you're hiding. If you say you want something, if you say you're wanting opportunities, what is the lie actually you're ignoring? Which is, if you want, so for example, this is the example that's coming. If you want to be famous, where are you still playing small? Where are you afraid to show yourself? Where are you not stepping out and taking a risk? Where are you keeping yourself very safe? Because the truth is your frequency is playing safe, even though your head, your mind, your has decided it wants to be famous, but ultimately, your frequency isn't safe enough to be able to step out into that new reality. So your frequency is playing the lie of, I am unsafe. It's unsafe for me to be famous. So as I say, it's a frequency as opposed to, yes, beliefs, affirmations. You can do those if they work for you, for sure. But this is more of a frequency of like, there's a disconnect between where you want to go and where your energy is at. Another example of this would be somebody who wants a relationship, but actually, if you look at the core of the frequency, they either don't believe that they are lovable, or they don't believe that somebody is available for them, or they think that all the good ones are taken. And so something like that. So it's a disconnect. It's like a frequency lie that comes through that keeps you stuck and not seeing what's in front of you. So this is a call to asking you to look at this lie. So let's see if we can get more information about this frequency lie. What is the mistruth or the disconnect, the energetic disconnect? What is the energetic disconnect about for this collective spirit? Well, this one, it's the card of intimacy. Ah, they all fell out. Give me a second. So it's the card of intimacy. Give me a second. The card of intimacy, this beautiful green, which is very healing. So again, it's an inner child thing, because the intimacy card has to do with those places within us that we protect terribly, and it really connects to the truth card there too. Usiana uasa kuasa yashi uase ura unini ashita iaseki husika kashi hara uasena ashi ata uete asi. So what's coming through here, so to be able to be in a relationship with somebody, you have to be able to be intimate with yourself. So as so within, so without, that's kind of one of the principles of base. So if you can't be intimate with yourself and comfortable with those parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, because this points to a lot of young shame, then it's like you can't be in a relationship because you're not able to be vulnerable, because this requires you to be vulnerable about things that you are ashamed of. And that's where the healing, not only the healing, but the growth, but also the potential and the genius comes from, is those places of vulnerability. You know, I think back to, what's her name? I'm having a problem with names right now. Brene Brown, and I think she talks a lot about vulnerability, and that's what we're talking about. The ability to share those vulnerable places. And I'm not saying, you know, to be famous, you need to go out there and you know, strip naked. But I think it's a process. Like, you can share it with one person and then a second person. And then as it gets less shameful, because it's the shame that's really the issue here, then you can really share those places. You know, so if I go back to some of the examples of the fact that you want to be famous, you know, maybe you're ashamed of wanting to be famous. Maybe you were raised in an environment where you were taught to be humble, to abnegate, to sacrifice. And so being famous, it goes against everything you were taught. And so there's a lot of shame around that. Or if I go back to the example about the relationship that you want, well, maybe there's some shame around the type of people you're attracted to, or there's shame around the type of things you're into. I don't know, you know, it could be many things. You know, maybe it's your gender, maybe it's your sexual, the way you need to express your sexual desires and connect with people. So if the shame is still there and it's still running the show, it's like you're not going to actually be able to receive your own truth of you know, the truth of what you really want to get. So there's work to do on releasing the shame, but also becoming really clear about, I said, the lie, the inner lie. Remember, it's about we're actually lying to ourselves, and by lying to ourselves, we're actually emitting this energy that's dissonant and disconnected to what you really want. So it's like you're trying to reduce the space between what you want and actually the truth of your frequency, really. So, and shame is a huge part of it. And you know, and instead of, you know, this would be the card of coming out of the closet. So whether it's the spiritual closet, the sexual closet, the cultural closet, we don't really care. Just coming out of the closet. You choose what that closet is for you. And I know for my part, and I think I've shared this, you know, this spiritual closet has been a big one for me, because I was raised in a very rational, down-to-earth family, and my education was very rational. And I worked in finance and business, and that's all very socially acceptable. And my spiritual aspect, which was actually very strong in me, was really, really like, it was like what I did on the weekends, right? And so I had to integrate that. And it's a process. That's what I, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, but really talking about it and sharing my gifts like that for about 15 to 20 years. And I still have moments where that shame will crop up. So every time I launch something new, that shame will show up quite strongly. And so I just have to learn to dance with it and welcome it, and just see that it's there to teach me something else. And this is what it's about. So don't make yourself wrong. Just know that this is the next level for you. Okay, so why do opportunities feel close but never land? Can we get something that would help us bridge? Or yeah, let's something that would help us bridge. What would help us bridge this? We have this one that wants to come in. So we have the card of prosperity, and I'm just thinking, okay. So prosperity, remember, in my deck means having everything you need at every single moment. So as an extrapolation of that, it would mean that you are already everything that you need to be. And whether you remove layers that are no longer necessary, or whether you understand better how to use your energy, I think it's the same thing. Ultimately, you are already, you know, that you are everything that you need to be already, and you have every single potential in you just waiting to unfold. I liken this card, or what's coming through, as, or I liken it to, if you've ever done, what are they called? Stuff like psilocybin. You know, I'm going to talk about magic mushrooms, so psilocybin. But psilocybin, what it does is they know for a fact, or they studied for a fact, that a disease, any form of disease, could be just this one track that we keep running down all the time, right? And what psilocybin does is start opening another track so that you can see something else. And so slowly you start being less sick, and you start, you know, this track and other multiple tracks start developing, so that you start expressing yourself and your life differently. Well, the card is the same idea. It's, you have everything within you. Nothing can give you anything that you're not, because you come complete. But sometimes we come, or we evolve as stuck. And like, it's like packets of information aren't developing or aren't opening, or we're not aware that we can open them and change them. And so we keep running these old programs and these old patterns. And so this card says, well, you have everything. How about you play, and how about you see other patterns? So if you want a little bit more information about that, I have an ebook on my website, which is called Soul Activation. And it talks about, literally about soul templates and why we have them and how they work, because I think it's very cool to understand it. And just know that we all come with multiple soul templates. Some of them are dormant, some of them are active. And this for me really points to, like, you have everything within you, you know, and all you need to do is to activate it. And to stop maybe using the ones that have done, the sense I get is this is a soul template that has run its course, and it's ready. You're ready to move on to like another soul template, or you're ready to activate another soul template. That will bring, you know, what you want. So see, the card of prosperity is what you want, except to do that you have to move out of like the soul structure that you're stuck in into this whole new soul structure. Asia suko a eshia sunaka eshi asakaye uasaka ushini asha aru ishi asika ushi asana ashika ashi asana ashi uete. So sometimes I think, like, we think we have to change, we have to, and you know, awareness is a huge part of this, you know, don't get me wrong. But sometimes I think it's as simple as, let's not dissolve an old soul template, but it's done its time, it's complete, and let's open up a new one. And this is what it's talking about. You're ready to open up a new one, so that the opportunities and will find you and will align with you. And it has nothing to do with your worth, but more with like a frequency alignment that's available to you if you want it. So the missing piece really is the frequency alignment that comes from a new soul template being activated. That would be how I describe this. I'll just pull a few tea leaves. I have one that's dropped down. See, we had something about family, discord among family and friends. So whatever it is that you want, your truth, the truth of what it is that you want, is creating some kind of a family issue or stems from a family issue or a friendship issue. You know, misery likes company sometimes. We have the dragon card, beware of self-delusion. Not all super helpful. And then let's get one final one. Okay, we have the card of karma. You will reap what you have sown. So these are not great cards. They're not bad either. Okay, what would be the one thing that would help? Okay, we have a dark woman. Dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So this woman could be coming into your life. And what else would help? Well, like tons. What else would help this collective particularly? Money will be coming to you. And then the final one is hard work ahead. Or not. And I'm going to say this, or not. You don't have to take any of this if it doesn't resonate with you. Take what resonates with you. If the cards don't speak to you, they don't speak to you. But see this as not negative, but there's family issues, which would make intimacy and the truth difficult, and this activation, this soul template activation difficult. And I think, and my antidote with this would be, as soon as you activate the new soul template, all this falls off, all this falls away, and then you have, you know, the money coming to you. Karma, I think, is just a fact. Whatever you sow, you shall reap. So reap what you want as opposed to what you don't want. And then, you know, hard work or not, you can make hard work fun. Everything is a question of perception anyway. So for some people it will be hard work. For other people it will just be fun work. Once again, you get to choose what your reality is. So I hope this helps you. I will put the link to the ebook underneath in case you're interested and you want to learn a bit more about soul templates. I really, really enjoy soul templates because I find they're a great tool. And so if you know that you're just living out the soul template, all you have to do is to upgrade that template, and that gives you access to like all this potential and energy that you're ready for. And so sometimes it's as simple as that. Wishing you all a beautiful week and full of opportunities and alignment that lands. Namaste.